Hey everybody, welcome back to the Print 3D channel. Today's April 27th, and that means day 117 of the 3DP 365 project. And on today's episode, we're going to 3D print a practical item, so stick around. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me here for day 117 of the 3DP 365 project. If you're unfamiliar with the project, check out the description below. I put a fact section down at the bottom that'll give you all the details. And don't forget to check out that MatterHackers affiliate link. If you're in the market for a new printer parts, or if you just need some filament, use that MatterHackers affiliate link down in the description. It kicks a little bit back to the channel. It doesn't cost you a penny, and we really appreciate it. But for today's episode, we printed out a practical print, this desk organizer. And before we talk about the print, let's head over to Thingiverse and I'll show you where to download the model. Then we'll tab over to Simplify 3D and I'll show you my settings for the print. Then we'll meet back here at the workbench and we'll talk about the print. Okay folks, so here we are at Thingiverse. Here is the desktop organizer, pen holder, and phone dock by Proto 3000. And I'll put the link down in the description so you can download and print this one yourself. And this is a very cool model. It's a very genius design. There's a place for post-it notes, pens, there's even an extra storage area for other pens, there's a phone holder with plenty of clearance for any kind of cabling, and there's even a little clip on here for the cable. So this is a very awesome print. And ours turned out pretty awesome. So let's tab over to Simplify 3D and I'll show you my settings for the print. Okay, so here we are in Simplify 3D and I've dropped the model down on the print bed at 100%. And I've turned it at this angle here just because I want to print it at this angle. And you'll probably notice these little circles here on the corners. And these are the lily pads, or circle, or helper discs, or circles, whatever you want to call them. Originally they were called lily pads, so that's what I'm calling them. I'm calling them lily pads. And I use these to make sure that anything big and flat that I print, that the model stays flat on the print bed. Now I know if your printer's super dialed in, you shouldn't have any problems. But the longer it prints and the more heat it applies to a small thick area that is super long and super wide like this, it's going to have some curling problems. It's inevitable. So these help prevent that, and they did an amazing job. So let's check out my process settings. Under layer height, we did a 0.2mm layer height with 4 top layers and 3 bottom layers and 3 perimeters. We also ran a skirt at 10mm from the object at only 3 outlines. For infill, we used 15% just to make sure our surfaces were nice and flat, and we did not generate any support material. For temperature, this is MatterHackers PRO PLA, so I use a single temperature throughout, and that's 207, and I have my 3-stage cooling system set up. Under speed, we ran this out at 50 millimeters per second, so let's hit OK, and let's hit Prepare to Print, and I'll show you how it's sliced. And this will be a real-time slice of the desk organizer. And there's our finished print, and you can see our helper discs in the corner, or lily pads as I like to call them. And if I turn this model around and hit play, you can see that that heavier infill is super handy to make sure our top layers are nice and flat. And they did turn out super smooth and super flat. And as you can see, this model builds up in a couple of different areas, so there are some issues with retraction and possibly stringing. But we didn't really have any problems with those, and our model turned out pretty great. I'm really happy with the results. So let's head over back to the workbench and let's talk about the print. Alright, so you saw my settings in Simplify 3D, and here is our finished desk organizer, and it turned out perfect. I am super happy with the results. There are no problems with this print whatsoever. This MatterHackers PRO PLA in the color of gray was the perfect choice for our little desk organizer. And of course my gMax did a stellar job of capturing all the detail on this. All the surfaces are nice and flat, there are no skips, there are no blobs, there are no nothing. I mean, this is a really perfect print. And using those little corner helpers, or lily pads as they call them, on these corners, kept this guy super flat. I mean, he is really flat. So if you're printing something really big and flat, and you're worried about the corners curling up, I'll put the link down in the description to what they call the little lily pads, or helper discs. And they have a couple different sizes. I suggest using the thinnest ones so they're easy to clip off. But either way, this is a perfect print, and I am really happy with the results. And before we wrap up today, I want to give a huge shout out to Adam McKee over at the Portland 3D Printing Lab and all the members over there. Last night, they asked me to speak at one of their little meetups, and it was such a humbling experience to talk to other 3D printing enthusiasts. So Adam and you guys at the 3D Printing Lab, You guys are doing amazing work up there. Keep doing what you're doing, and maybe next month you'll invite me back. Well, that about wraps it up for day 117 of the 3DP 365 project. I hope you guys found this episode interesting and informative. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share those videos, and I'll see you tomorrow.